So the last few weeks I've been playing Destiny 2, which is a game that I've been extremely excited about for a very long time, and I absolutely love Destiny 2, don't get me wrong. But as I script my review for it, which will be delivered sometime next week, I'm often reflecting on the fact that the game really hasn't advanced a great deal versus Destiny 1. It's still fantastic, don't get me wrong, I love it, it's great. But realistically, it's very similar to the game that we've been playing since 2015's The Taken King, and I think when it comes to something like a sequel, I have fairly high expectations that a sequel can deliver me something new and improved and vastly different than what I've played before. When I've made this comment in the past, a number of Destiny fans have responded that you don't want to fix what's not broken, and I completely agree with that. You don't want to change up what's already working, but you do want to expand upon it and deliver something new to the player that they haven't seen before. And as I looked at the Plains of Eidolon dev stream that I saw today from Digital Extremes, talking about everything that is coming to this DLC, which isn't actually DLC by the way, it's just a free update, 100% free. The only thing that was going through my mind the entire time was that this is the sort of innovation that I hope to see when it comes to sequels for the games that I really love, and this isn't even a sequel, it's just a free update. In an era where many publishers are very happy to rehash existing content, and I'm not talking specifically about Destiny 2 here, I'm talking about all games, Digital Extremes are a developer that are not content to rest on their laurels, and even today, Steve, their creative director, basically said that they have a constant discomfort with the status quo. They are constantly trying to push forward what this game is and what it will become in future, and that is so clear with what we saw today in this Plains of Eidolon dev stream. So why am I making such a big fuss? What can we expect in the next few weeks when this game update is released, because they did say that it was going to be available sometime in September. Well, first of all, we get an entirely new Warframe called Glass, and Glass is just that really. It's a Warframe inspired by Glass, and it looks pretty damn amazing. You can see the different abilities here. There's this kind of ice shiv spike thing which projects out. She's got an amazing glass shards shield that does damage to enemies around her. She can cast it on herself and cast it on others. She has a really fascinating ability which projects floating mirrors, and enemies will be tricked into attacking these, and as they do so they'll actually be attacking themselves. And her 4 ability is a giant glass ring that when enemies walk through it they are slowed and then frozen, and then they can be blown up, and it just looks really awesome. It's a really awesome, interesting, cool, innovative sounding kit that is vastly different from the 30 or so other Warframes that already exist, and I really can't wait to get my hands on it. Not to mention the fact that her glass stylings are going to make for some pretty damn nice fashion frame. That is out when Plains of Eidolon is released on PC and then on consoles a little bit later, and she is going to be available to everyone through a quest 100% free. So do look forward to that, it looks pretty amazing. They also showed off a sexy Deluxe Mag Skin. There's not much to say about it other than it looks really cool, and they've gone to great detail with regards to its stylings. You'll be able to purchase that as well, so look forward to that. But the real money shot was the information we got about the Plains of Eidolon. We arrived and spent some more time in the town, and obviously we knew that there was going to be a new race there of NPCs that we would interact with, but more of them were available to us and we could see what more of them were offering. We already knew that weapon crafting is a new thing that's now available. We are going to be able to collect different components for weapons and combine them in different ways to create custom weapons of our own choosing. There's a prospecting system as well where we can actually find minerals out in the wild. We have to trace the symbol on top of them to be able to collect them, and then we can then use those minerals to be able to craft things such as new weapons. And there's a new quest system available as well, driven by the NPCs, where instead of having to go back to our ship all the time to get stuff, we can actually just stay on the ground, pick up a few quests, go out into the Plains of Eidolon, complete them, and then come back to town to collect our rewards. This whole aesthetic, the new minerals thing, weapon crafting, none of this has been seen before in the world of Warframe. It's all totally new stuff, and we all get to experience it together very soon. Heading outside though, things got really crazy really fast. We learned that the Lotus is actually going to be able to throw essentially world events at us at any point while we're out on the map. We can choose to either take those world events on or we can ignore them. And if we head to the locations and complete the objectives, different things are going to start happening. In the example provided here, Rebecca has been asked to hold down a position and enemies keep spawning in. They're flying in on dropships. Whole ranges of enemies are coming in. They can call in reinforcements with flare guns at any time as well, which is awesome. It does look very, very hectic. And again, it just happens at any moment. We are asked to do this sort of stuff. It's completely dynamic at all times. Since the map is 9 kilometers squared, which is very, very large, it's important that we're able to move across it at a reasonable pace. And we've learned that our arc wing is available to do that. We simply press a button to equip it and off we go. And we've learned that they've also reworked the arc wing movement when we're in this environment, because the arc wing movement out in space is a little clunky, so they've definitely made that a lot better for us. But the really, really big, really exciting stuff was the first official gameplay that we saw for the new Eidolons. Now, the way an Eidolon works is that they are very, very tough boss enemies that spawn in the evenings. There's a day-night cycle on the Plains of Eidolon, and the daytime is pretty easy. It's designed for low-level players, but the nighttime is meant to be serious business. And we see here the majestic Eidolon walking along, and they made really clear that the Eidolon is not the kind of thing where you're just going to be able to burn it down quickly. There are going to be very specific ways that you bring that thing down, and its attacks are very much focused on the idea that you are a bit of an annoyance as a Warframe or as an operator. It's not really looking to target individual players. It has these AoE type effects because you're meant to be like this buzzing fly that the Eidolon's not really too fussed about. But there are ways to get its attention later as you unlock the puzzle behind how to bring these things down. They didn't go into detail with regards to how we do actually damage and kill these Eidolons, but they did say that it was very close to the reworking of the focus system, which is coming in the Plains of Eidolon update. Now, this part here really, really blew me away. For those of you that don't know, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, so if you haven't played up to the second dream, I really recommend you turn off the video now. But during the second dream, you learn that your operator is in fact a small child, and with the War Within, you actually get to control that character by pressing 5 or a certain button on your controller. I don't know which one, because I don't really play on console. You actually get to walk around on the missions with your operator doing damage to enemies, and it actually plays a certain very specific role against certain enemy types as well. The focus system underpinning all of that has been a bit of a strange one, because it actually relates to the power of your Warframe and your Warframe's passive abilities, rather than being about the power of your operator. That is changing in the Plains of Eidolon. What's going to happen now is that you're going to get a complete refund of all of your focus points to allow you to respec. The new focus system will now enable your operator to be a warrior. A warrior operator is what they said, which means that your operator is actually going to be doing a lot more fighting, and that apparently is going to play a very important role in the way that we bring down those Eidolons. Now, they didn't reveal a lot of information about how that was going to work, but they did show off what the new operators are looking like, with new armor equipped and new cosmetics and new stances and new stuff. As you can see, it's very tension inspired here, the way it looks. We don't know the details, but we do know your operator is going to be a proper badass now. I mean, just look at him. He looks awesome. Exactly how his kit is going to work, we don't know. We're still waiting to see. But the operator being a passive part of your combat experience, and the focus tree system being a passive part of your Warframe's combat kit, are pretty fundamental pillars of the post-War Within experience. It takes a certain degree of boldness on the part of a developer to redesign a system so fundamentally in just one DLC update. It has been teased for a while, so obviously they've been working on it, but to know that it's finally here and that it's going to change the game in such a revolutionary way is very, very exciting. I'm sure there's a lot more going into this update that we don't even know about yet, but the fact is it is out pretty soon. The developers did say we could expect it sometime in September, so unless it gets delayed, it's going to be very, very soon. This sort of innovation is the kind of innovation that you cannot but respect. As I said earlier, where other games put a 2 after their name and hope for the best, the Digital Extreme developers are constantly pushing for more and broadening this experience and redefining it almost every few months. And it does it in a way that isn't looking to fix what isn't broken, but rather expand on the experience and deliver something constantly new and innovative and challenging and ambitious. I suppose the last thing I want to say is that during the dev stream, the developers pointed to the fact that this was a very, very risky update. They pointed to previous updates such as 7 and 14, which I wasn't around for, so I don't even know what they were talking about, but they definitely said they were updates that were not well received by the community and that had a lot of technical problems associated with them. Digital Extremes is a developer that's willing to take risks, and it's going to get things wrong along the way, because that's what taking risks means. It means that sometimes some of them fail, but I will gladly take a developer that is constantly taking risks and pushing the status quo over one that is just resting on its laurels and never expanding on the experiences it's offering its players. I'll take that developer any day of the week and twice on Sundays. I'll be doing plenty of coverage of the Plains of Eidolon when it's released. Even though I'm going on vacation in early October, I'll certainly be doing as much coverage as I can in the lead up and as soon as I get back, so be sure to subscribe for that sort of coverage. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you next time. All the best. Bye-bye.